All right, so hello everyone. My name is Russell. Today together with me we have Kak Naluri, right? Kak Naluri, right? I cannot say Ibu, right? Ibu, you scold me. You say, oh, cannot say Ibu. We have Kak Naluri and we have Kak Reta here with us today. So we're happy to share with you guys a webinar together with Education New Zealand. I think New Zealand is a great market to go in. If you guys have any questions regarding New Zealand, I think you guys will have quite a few. Feel free to put them inside the chat box, and then we will get to them as soon as we can. I'm happy to share with you guys also over the past 3 to 4 months, our team has been working really hard to expand more into New Zealand. So right now we work with, I would say, about 90% or 80% of all the New Zealand institutions, nearly all of the universities. And New Zealand is a very interesting market to go into. Every day I go into new webinars, new sessions to learn more about New Zealand. So I think it's a great option for everyone, especially in this current situation. We have more options for our students. So yeah, I'll pass it over to Kak Naluri to share more about Indonesia. Thank you everyone for coming.
Thank you. So let me just share my screen first. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes, very good.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you, Yes Education. Thank you, Rasa and Reta, for taking your time to host the webinar. So it was quite a funny story, right? So I think last month I've met with Yes Education in Indonesia. We had this Asian networking event with the New Zealand reps as well. And then when I was in KL, out of the blue, Russell just texted me and email me, you know what, I'm Russell from Yes Education Malaysia, how about we catch up and stuff like that. And then I said to Russell, hey, I'm here in KL, so let's just meet. So it was really quick, but thank you so much for accommodating this webinar as well. And thank you for the agents partners who for taking your time to actually to refresh your mind about New Zealand, because I believe some of you might be familiar with what we offer, but just this way to give you some refresher. Let's get started. My name is Naluri. I'm from Education New Zealand. So first thing first, kia ora. So this is our Maori phrase. Fun facts, in New Zealand, we have 3 official languages, English, Maori, as well as New Zealand Sign Language. This is also really good to send these messages to your potential students that in New Zealand is quite exclusive. So we not only consider English as our official language, but also other languages like Maori from our culture, from our indigenous culture, as well as New Zealand Sign Language to showcase inclusivity. So the agenda for today, it's actually quite simple. The first one is, of course, what is Education New Zealand, Mana po kita, and what our education offerings, what our roles and stuff like that, and then how we can actually support you. We have tools and resources that can be accessed by our agent partners. So hopefully you will find the session useful. So Education New Zealand, we are actually the government agency responsible for international education. So we actually promote New Zealand education offerings to our target countries, including in Indonesia and Malaysia. We also work with a lot of partners. We work, of course, with schools in New Zealand. We also work with English language providers, private training establishments. We also work together with New Zealand Institute of Skills and Technology, or TEPUKENGA, universities. Of course, we collaborate and work with education agents and services. We also work with our government partners. So because I am co-located at the New Zealand Embassy in Jakarta, we also work together with the New Zealand Embassy to promote and to strengthen the bilateral education relationships. Apart from that, we also work together with the scholarship providers because it's quite a big portfolio here in Indonesia and Malaysia. So we work with MARA as well as LPDP in Indonesia. So when it comes to the activities or the role that we do, basically we do everything from student recruitment efforts together with the institutions, as well as to facilitate them. If, for example, they want to have connections with Indonesian institutions, Indonesia or Malaysian institutions, Malaysian schools and whatnot, we can also offer that facilitation, or simply to give market intel to our providers back in New Zealand. We also work together with education agents that I will share about that in my presentation later on. So this is our people. So we actually governed by a board appointed by the Minister of Education, but we are not under the Minister of Education. We report to the Minister of Tertiary. Her name is Erika Stanford. This minister is also responsible for immigration. So that's why moving forward, hopefully we will have more collaboration between Education New Zealand as well as the Immigration New Zealand. We have 18 offices globally, and then I'm the only one person here in Jakarta responsible for 2 markets. So, of course, just a little bit background and infographics about New Zealand. In case you are not familiar with our country, we have 2 islands, South Island and North Island. The capital city is Wellington. Please do not mess it up with Auckland. Yes, Auckland is the biggest city of New Zealand, but the capital city is actually Wellington. The currency is New Zealand dollar, is pretty good now as compared to other currencies. So it's a bit more affordable. Can you even like compared to Singapore dollar is already like really a big gap. Because New Zealand dollar is now like slightly lower than both Singapore dollar as well as Australian dollar. Population is only 5 million. Russell has just mentioned that, oh, there are so many ships as compared to people. But here's the thing, meaning there are more opportunities in New Zealand. And we need high-skilled people in New Zealand. So for those who want to stay back in New Zealand after completing their study, maybe the opportunities is better than other countries. And this is our New Zealand education journey, just to give you a clearer picture. So of course, our high school finished at year 13. And then after that, we have other levels up from level 4 to level 10. So level 4, 5 to 6 usually is around certificate and diploma. It's under higher education, but unfortunately for now, if your students studying level 4 to 6, maybe they will not be eligible for post-study work visa. But for level 7 until level 10, yes, they are eligible for the post-study work visa depending on the qualification as well as the length of study. Level 7 is around bachelor degree, graduate certificate, and graduate diploma. We have level 8, postgraduate certificate and diploma, and bachelor honors degree, because usually in New Zealand, the bachelor degree only take around 3 years. We also have master degree as well as doctoral degree or PhD. So this is also some stats that you can also share to your potential students. All New Zealand universities are ranked in the top 2%. You can actually access this in our brand lab. So if you register to our brand lab, you can access and download these assets as well. New Zealand also is ranked number 1 in the world for work-life balance, because we love work-life balance. And again, when it comes to New Zealand, we always talk about country as the most peaceful country, one of the happiest countries in the world. And another fun fact, we don't have deadly animals. So no snakes, no crocodiles. So the students
Interesting.
can actually enjoy all New Zealand without having to worry about dangerous animal pop up in your toilet, for example.
I
And
didn't know
of
that.
course, yeah, that's a really good
I
fun
thought got
fact.
snake and spider also, it's quite near to Australia, Safe,
Yeah.
safe.
And of course, when we talk about New Zealand is around a safe and diverse society, interestingly, New Zealand is also a melting pot. So a lot of people who actually like Kiwis or New Zealanders, they actually were not born in New Zealand. Apart from that, just recently, Air New Zealand is also named as the number 1 airline, the safest number 1 airline in the world. Singapore Airlines already like in the top 25, maybe due to the recent incidents and whatnot. So it's just to showcase that the safety is not just in New Zealand, but also like the other components. Of course, when we are talking about New Zealand, it's all about amazing scenic and leisure experiences. I know maybe New Zealand is not for everyone, and then most of the time maybe it's not their top of mind. But once the students come and study in New Zealand, they already like change their mindset and yes, I made a right decision to study in New Zealand, because maybe the offerings that we actually offer to them as well. This is around the indigenous and welcoming. I always feel New Zealand is not like a Western people. They kind of like feel like more welcoming, maybe because we also adopt the Maori culture, where Maori culture is quite similar with ASEAN or Asian culture. So we really appreciate people. We really open to other differences. We also always adopt the Matna Kitanga, meaning it's a culture of care and support. So those Maori culture actually embedded in our daily life. And I think there are also like really a lot of values that similar with Asian culture as well. In fact, Maori language is also quite similar with Bahasa Melayu and Bahasa Indonesia. So something to highlight to your students as well. Uh, New Zealand is also like one of the first country who actually introduced the pastoral care. So meaning that all international students will be taken care of if there are institution or providers who don't really take care of their international students, the government will take care of them. So it's already in our regulation. So when it comes to New Zealand, we actually have three different higher education providers. We have universities. There are 8 universities in total. We also have New Zealand Institute of Skills and Technology. It was named Te Pukenga, but now they are now operate individually. So we have 16 of them. And we also have 100 of private training establishment. What are the differences? Of course, they are different, but for example, universities, they are more on the research and academic. But if you want your student to learn more about hands-on or practical skill, they can opt for New Zealand Institute of Skills and Technology. Of if they want something that really specific, like for example culinary, they can also consider to study in our private training establishment. In terms of the level, it's also like very difference. Universities, of course, you will have from bachelor degree up to a PhD. For New Zealand Institute of Skills and Technology, you will have diploma up to master degree. For private training establishment, you can also see some providers offer diploma, bachelor, as well as master degree. So it doesn't stop the students. It depends on their preference, their financial capability as well. So this is universities. As you know, we only have 8 universities in total. Of course, you can learn anything in New Zealand. Everything in New Zealand, you name it, you can learn. Film and fun fact, film industry in New Zealand is one of the best because actually we have this WETA workshop that produces a lot of Hollywood movies. Fun fact about New Zealand, no one knows, maybe not everyone knows about this fact, but actually our film industry is one of the strongest. Of course, we also like quite strong in our dairy products, but technology as well, because we know we are quite isolated. So we have to be advanced in our technology and creativity. So that's why a lot of invention that we invented to support our isolation, our location. So these are the universities. Maybe we can run through from AUT. AUT only has one campus in Auckland, of course. They're focusing on actually creative technology as well. They are the youngest university because beforehand, AUT was the institute. And then they're also quite strong in physiotherapy and sport medicine as well. I think one of the largest physiotherapy program is offered at AUT. University of Auckland, of course, that's the #1 university in New Zealand. If I'm not mistaken, they have like 8 faculties. They also have the med school together with University of Otago. So if your students like really care about ranking, so you can consider University of Auckland. But of course, other universities, they also have specialization, and sometimes they also have like really good programs like under, for example, top 50 in their specific programs. Waikato is quite strong in their supply chain management, business, and computer science. Victoria University of Wellington usually a lot of politicians and those who are in the government graduated from Victoria University of Wellington, of course, because of their location. So, for example, if you want to learn something related to law, international relations, as well as education, you can consider to send your student to Victoria University of Wellington. Canterbury is located in the South Island. We have 5 universities in North Island and 3 universities in South Island. So University of Canterbury is strong in their civil engineering and business as well. Lincoln University is all about land-based programs. So agriculture, what else? Dairy product, wine, food, technology, and whatnot. It's already they offer those programs. I forgot to mention Massey. So Massey is the only university which has three campuses in Palmerston North, in Palmerston North, Wellington, and Auckland. Massey is strong with their agriculture as well. As they also have the only commercialization pilot bachelor degree and veterinary science as well. They're also quite strong in sustainability and communications. University of Otago is located in like the southern part of New Zealand. They are quite strong in public health. The only dentistry program offers at University of Otago. They have also med school and entrepreneurship. So depends again on your potential students' preferences, because some universities sometimes they offer the same thing. And the next slide is just I want to show it to you, the top programs for these universities, but of course it's not limited to what they actually offer. And these are other programs that are available. Yeah. Okay, now we are moving on to applied or vocational education, or New Zealand Skill of Institute and Technology. So we have 16 of them. I know some of you might have partnership with these providers as well. Naturally and traditionally, Indonesia and Malaysia are university market. So that's why we don't really have a demand for students to go to New Zealand Institute of Skills and Technology. But we never know. If you want to know more, of if you are interested in exploring the partnership with these institutions, Polytechnic, please also share an email to me. I'm happy to connect you guys with the respective reps as well. And private training establishment, we have a lot. I cannot mention one by one, but for example, the Cordon Bleu is also part of our private training establishment, Auckland Institute Studies, and whatnot. So usually, of course, when it comes to the pricing point, private training as well as institution of polytechnics usually slightly a bit more affordable than universities. But then again, it depends on the potential students' references as well. So this is the entry requirements in general. So universities in New Zealand, they accept Cambridge A levels, IB, STPM, and UEC for Malaysian students, but you need to check your preferred university on their minimum requirements. So for Indonesian students, some university, I think all universities also accept SMA 3, minimum 0.85. We also accept English proficiency, IELTS, TOEFL, and when they apply to our universities or institution, there are no application fees. Some of the universities might need work experiences or portfolio depending on their programs as well. This is just an example for entry requirements for undergraduate programs for your reference, but again, you need to check your preferred university. All right. So this is New Zealand's PhD package, because I think for postgraduate programs, New Zealand actually offers a really good benefit. So For those who are keen to study PhD, please let them know that actually the students will pay the same fees as New Zealand domestic students. And if they have spouse and children, they can actually enroll their children as domestic students in New Zealand's public schools. And no limit on the hours they can work while studying. They also eligible for a 3-year post-study work visa, and of course the partner and spouse can apply for an open work visa. We'll discuss about that later on. Yes, so this is the other benefits that the international students can get while they are studying in New Zealand. Of course, they can work part-time, 20 hours per week during semester, or 40 hours during the semester break. This is international students all level, bachelor, up to PhD. Up to opportunities for internship and work experience. Some internship are already embedded in their programs. Some of them, they have to find the opportunities, the internship opportunities to their university. And of course, all international students from bachelor degree above are eligible for post-study work visa up to 3 years, but depending on their qualification and then the length of their studies. So this year, the minimum wage from 1st April 2024 is around 23 New Zealand dollar per hour before tax. Post-study work visa, again, depending on your qualification and where your student studied. So this is the eligibility. We can run through this from the level 7 or below. So for the level 7 and below, you need to check on the immigration New Zealand whether they are eligible for post-study work visa or not, because there have been changes around the grade diploma certified level. But for the level 7 or 8, which is bachelor degree and postgraduate diploma, as long as they have minimum 30 weeks full-time study in New Zealand, they will be eligible to apply for post-study work visa, and then the duration for the post-study work visa will be mirroring the time spent studying in New Zealand. So this is open work condition, any employer, any location. So what does it mean? It means that you don't need to land a job in order to get this post-study work visa. So once you've graduate from the university, your students can just apply for the post-study work visa. For level 9 and 10, minimum 30 weeks full-time study in New Zealand, and they will be eligible to get 3-year post-study work visa. Level 7 bachelor degree, yes, you will be able also to get 3-year post-study work visa. And on the right side, you can see, of course, they have to pay, and then they have to have fund at least 5,000 New Zealand dollar when they apply. And then the post-study work visa only eligible one. So for example, after bachelor degree, and then they are progressing to master degree, they will not get the post-study work visa twice. They will only get one. Yep. Next slide is around skilled migrant category pathway. So this is also an interesting and I think benefits for international students. So in general, if your students are willing to stay back, they can of course eligible for post-study work visa, and then they can apply for post-study work visa. And then after that, what would be their journey? What I can advise for you is the skilled migrant category pathway or the resident visa. So it depends on their qualification. So let's say, for example, they graduate from bachelor degree, they will get 3 points, but they will need another 3 points or equal to 3 years skilled work in New Zealand or any work visa, and then they can progress to the skilled migrant category resident visa. But for example, if they graduate from master degree program, they will already get 5 points, and they only need 1 point or 1 year 1 year working in New Zealand to apply for the skilled migrant category resident visa. And if your students graduate from a PhD or doctorate, they already get 6 points. So they can just apply for the skilled migrant category resident visa. We also have green list pathway. that usually Immigration New Zealand release yearly, and with this green list pathway visa, I think this is also another opportunity. So if the students graduate from, for example, STEM programs, and the STEM program is under Tier 1 list, they can actually apply for the resident visa. So they don't need to work under post-study work visa. Yeah, but of course there are conditions around that. So this is the green list pathway. You can actually check on Immigration New Zealand website. Sometimes what I tell to the students, if they want to stay back in New Zealand, maybe you can consider these programs or these jobs occupation that you will take. But of course, it depends on the Immigration New Zealand as well. For example, in the past, I remember hospitality was on the green list, but now not anymore. So it has been changes throughout the years depending on the demand of the New Zealand government. But so far, STEM-related programs and health-related programs have always been in the green list pathway. This is also partner work rights. So for level 9 and 10 masters and doctorate, yes, if you bring or students bring their spouses, they are eligible to apply for partner work rights or partner work visa. They will be eligible to work up to 40 hours per week. But if they are under level 7 or level 8, they need to check whether their spouse studying under the green list. So if they're studying under green list, level 7, they can get the partner work rights. But if not, maybe they're not available, because like usually bachelor degree is like below 20 years old, right? So they don't have a spouse or partner yet. So this is the tuition fees in general. The tuition fees range from 25K to 45K, but of course with higher fees for several subjects such as maths or veterinary science, as well as STEM as well. The 25K usually offered by private training establishment or Institute of Technology. And PhD is around 6,000 to 8,000 New Zealand dollar. Living costs, of course, depending on your student's lifestyle, but when applying for a student visa, the students will be required to provide evidence at least 20K New Zealand dollar to cover their living expenses for first year of study. And then in New Zealand, maybe quite different with other countries, the visa need to be renewed every year for the international students. Yeah. So we currently, for those who are in Indonesia, we currently have direct flights from Denpasar to Auckland with Air New Zealand 3 times per week. And now I think they get more flights coming in from Auckland to Denpasar. So these are our support for education agents. So as you know, in the past, we used to have ENZRA or Education New Zealand Recognized Agent. But now we don't have it anymore. But I think it's a good sign, meaning we can actually collaborate with aspiring agents like you guys who want to actually explore and promote New Zealand for your potential students. So we have these 4 platforms that you can access with our single sign-in. So please go to myenz.enz.gov.nz. From here, you can actually, when you register and whatnot, you can actually access to our agent lab, our e-newsletter specifically for agent, our brand lab, as well as IntelliLab. So agent lab, basically, if you want to know more about, if you want to know more about current updates, webinars, we have just hosted a webinar with Immigration New Zealand around the latest update. So you can actually see the recordings on this platform. We also have the FAQ with Immigration New Zealand. So if you have questions before asking me, you can check the FAQ available on that agent lab to see whether actually there are same questions that have been addressed by the Immigration New Zealand office, sir. We also have e-newsletter, of course, all announcement around agent will be informed in this agent lab. We also have brand lab. So once you register, you can actually download our assets if you want. We have just recently updated our brand guidelines as well. We have videos. We have anything you want, basically. IntelliLab, basically, if you want to know market intels, student numbers, inside stories, sectors, and whatnot. And these are our student-facing platforms. So if your students are still confused about the programs and whatnot, you can actually direct them to our Study with New Zealand website. If you see the website, there will be like a button, find a course, so they can actually find a directory or the programs they want to know. We also have this Now My New Zealand. So this is a very interesting one because this is actually a platform designed for the international student who already enrolled or who already in New Zealand. So if they want to know more about how to work in New Zealand, how to get to these regions, for example, or join the community with the fellow international students, they can actually access this one. And also we have the e-newsletter specifically for our students. We also have Agent Co-Fund activity. So in the past, we usually open this for our agents who actually have registered to our agent lab because it's easier for us to see, to share that information. So ensure that you guys are registered on our agent lab. So agent co-fund activity, basically, we will send across a proposal to all the agent, and then we'll ask them also to contribute financially. But from us, we also will be disbursing some budget to work together and then to develop student recruitment activities. So in 2024, we awarded 2 Indonesian agents and 3 Malaysian agents to work together and then to promote New Zealand offerings. Usually, it will be announced like once per year because our financial year is from June to July. So please just wait for the news around Agent Co-Fund activity. In terms of the financial contribution, of course, there will be like set of requirements. For example, if you send this number, maybe we can disburse you this money or cost. But apart from that, we also have like smaller activities that we can also explore with our agents. So not like the big one, but like smaller. We can start off with the small activities, and when you show your commitment to New Zealand, maybe we can have a further conversation around the big events or big contributions. And Immigration New Zealand. So please note that actually Immigration New Zealand is not the advocate of Immigration New Zealand, but I know in reality you will come to us and then you will ask questions to us. By all means, please do if you have questions, but of course, maybe I will not have the answers. I will always direct you guys to go back to the New Zealand immigration website because believe it or not, when I receive a question from you guys from agent, I always check that on Immigration New Zealand website and it's available there. So ensure you check the Immigration New Zealand website first before asking the questions to me. And of course, if I cannot answer, you can also always direct the questions to the respective institution, especially when it comes to your visas, because usually, of course, they also have the assigned licensed immigration officer as well. So maybe they know better than myself. But regardless, if you have, but it's also like something that I am really keen to know as well from you about what is happening in the market, what challenges that you face when it comes to the visa and whatnot, so I can actually pull that information to be fed to our Immigration New Zealand people. You can actually subscribe to the Immigration New Zealand updates and newsletter is quite useful as well. And for those who haven't sent any students to New Zealand, actually Migration New Zealand has released the checklist for first-time student visa application. So you can actually just download that information and then you can do your checklist. Scholarships. So from us, we only have one New Zealand government scholarship, which is Manaki New Zealand Scholarship, only available for postgraduate programs. Good news is now the quota for Indonesian and Malaysian are quite okay as compared to other regions. Agents, the first thing that agents always ask whether you will get commission or not. Just speak it frankly. The answer is I don't know. So you need to check with the respective universities around that arrangement. But if you want to promote this program, by all means, yes, please do. Usually Manaki New Zealand Scholarship open in February. In the past, it was all under the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, but now when it comes to the promotions, it is under Education New Zealand. So if you have question around Manaki scholarship, you can also check with me. But actually the website is pretty straightforward, and then there's a lot of information on the website. About Manaki scholarship, they have quota, of course, and they have preferred subjects and preferred regions. For example, in Indonesia, they are more focusing on eastern part of Indonesia, and then the subjects are very specific on energy, environment, yeah, and not like, for example, not business. If your students want to take business like MBA, maybe the Manaki is not for them. In Indonesia, we also have LPDP. Of course, in Malaysia, we also have MARA, and I believe like they also collaborate with agent partners. So by all means, you can also ask that questions if you have question around that scholarship. And for other scholarship, yes, please do check the respective providers because they have their own scholarship, especially for Indonesia and Malaysia. Some of universities, they look Indonesia and Malaysia as their priority, so they have a bigger chunk of opportunities, scholarship opportunities for this market. So this is the New Zealand scholarships, Manaki scholarship. You can have a look because when you check the website, you can see all this information. Literally, it's there. But sometimes, yeah, you can also check with me. And this is the student visa requirements. After this, I can share this across to you, Russell, so you can just share it with your agent partners. This is our student-facing website. This is the Now My New Zealand for the international students who are already in New Zealand. And please get in touch with me. This is my email address. I can share my WhatsApp number as well after this. And thank you. Now maybe open the floor for a Q&A.
Thank you very much. I think it's very good. We already have a lot of questions saying that they want the slides. I think your slides is very good. There were some things I could screenshot, something I couldn't screenshot in time, but I think it's very good, very comprehensive. Thank you very much. Yeah, I just want to highlight, yeah, PhD in New Zealand is a very, very good option. I know not everyone is, I would say not every agent is familiar with sending PhD and things like that. But yeah, if you ever do have students that want to do PhD, I think New Zealand is the place to go for sure. So yeah, we have
Yes.
if you guys have any questions, feel free to put them inside the chat or in the Q&A. It's completely up to you guys. Once we receive the slides from Naluri later, we will send it to you guys as well. But in the meantime, we have one question. They're asking, can a student apply for multiple postgraduate visa after graduation? Which means like, for example, a student complete a bachelor degree and then they want to apply for a postgraduate visa. And then after that postgraduate visa, they enroll in a master's program and then they
Yeah.
want to apply for another postgraduate visa. Is it possible to apply twice or not possible?
So in general, as what I've mentioned earlier, there's no package visa per se. The package visa is only available if the students, for example, taking pathway programs providers, foundation programs or English program, and then progress to the bachelor degree. So that's the package visa that I'm aware for the time being. Uh, apart from that, they have to renew it
Yearly.
yearly for now. Yes.
Now, this question is basically asking if, like, for example, you finish the bachelor. So let's say you study
Yeah.
2-year bachelor,
Yeah.
then you get 2-year working visa, right?
3 years. 3 year. Bachelor
If you
degree
study two
usually
year,
three
you get
years.
2. If you 3, then
Yes.
3, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So
Correct.
he's
Correct.
asking
Correct.
is, let's say I study 3-year bachelor, I get
Mm-hmm.
3-year working visa, and then
Yes.
after wait, my finger left, right. Then once I'm done, then after that I study another 2-year master, example. Then after that, can I apply for another 2-year working visa after that? Or no? Only one
No,
time, right?
no, only one time. For post-study work
Mm,
visa, only one time. So you need to be strategized on that one, I think. Which one is the most beneficial for the students? Because again, when you reach like a certain level of study, for example, a master degree, you will only need 1 year
correct,
to work, and you already get like 5 points plus 1 point working, and then you will direct to the resident visa.
correct.
Yes.
That's what I wanted to
So
mention also.
yeah. So you need to be strategized on that one. Even like with the bachelor degree, once you work for 3 years, you can actually eligible for the resident visa.
Yep,
So maybe, I don't know, like you go ahead with the post-study work visa first, resident visa, and then take master degree after that, for example. That's
that is
another
true.
example. Yeah, or just be strategized on when you will take the post-study work visa. Yeah.
That is true because technically as well, you can study 3-year bachelor, get the
Yes.
work 3 years,
Three.
get the permanent residency, and then
Yes.
technically once you're on permanent residency as well, if you do choose to study again in New Zealand, you no longer pay international student fees.
Yes, correct,
You will pay the
correct.
local fees. Yes. So
Yes,
no
correct.
need to actually apply it twice. Just once is enough.
Yeah, yeah. And it's only eligible for one time as well.
Yeah, true.
Good.
We have another question. Does the postgraduate visa have an age limit or no age limit? I think for New Zealand, no age limit, right?
No.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. In general, there's no age limit. Either you study bachelor degree at 50 years old, there's no limit. But then again, maybe there will be questions from the immigration side. Like why? Why now? Maybe. So it's just literally case by case. I cannot say that it's not, there's no age limit because there's no age limit, but yes. But if you are looking for like resident visa or permanent visa, I cannot quote this, but there are actually age limit for the permanent visa. I think it's around 55 years old. Yeah, but the rest for education, you can learn anytime.
That would be great. So good option for your students as well because Australia caps the post-study work visa at 35 years old. So if you
Oh,
guys have any students above 35 years old, New Zealand. Remember, New Zealand.
yeah, yeah. Just need to give a good evidence for the
Yep.
immigration New Zealand. The why, yeah.
Yep. I think another interesting thing as well is that for you guys, you need to show 20,000 New Zealand dollars no matter what you're studying. So I think that
Yes.
something that students also need to be aware of because for like some Malaysian students, they don't show financial documents to Australia. For New
I
Zealand, remember you
see.
need to show
Yes.
20,000 minimum. You can get the
Yeah.
bank letter from your bank or your bank statements, things like that. Yeah. We have another question. For Master and Manaki scholarship, no age limit as well.
There's age limit. So here's the thing. There's no age limit by the education providers like
Mhm.
universities or Tepuking and whatnot. But from the scholarship providers, they have their own
Yep.
requirements. So, but unfortunately for Manaki, there's age limit up to 40 years old.
40 still seems quite good, still
Yeah.
quite fair. Australia already kept at 35 even for working visa.
Yeah.
So that's very good. Yeah, if anybody has any question, feel free to put them inside the chat. I think so far it's been really good. The green list also quite clear. Website also very clear. Everything's very clear for New Zealand, I feel. Not too difficult. And I also liked it very much that you gave like a quick summary, like, oh, if you want to go AUT, what to study, you want to go UOA, what to study, Waikato. That I think that was very useful because a lot of inquiry I get as a B2B is that when an agent is trying to sell a new country, they don't know which university is good for what.
Yes. Yeah.
So they kind of
Yeah.
want like a cheat sheet, and I think what you mentioned earlier was a very good cheat sheet. So we should definitely share it to our agent partners, and I think that's
Yeah.
very beneficial for our students. We have another question. Uh, oh, hi Mbak Bella. Oh, someone speak to me Indonesian. Okay, time for me to try Indonesian. Oh no, it's only Mbak Bella. Is there any issue in visa arrangement? Does the student need to submit something like genuine student in Australia? Which also kind of means like, do they need to write a statement or anything like that when they submit
Yeah.
visa? Or
Yeah, sometimes they need it because the immigration New Zealand wants to see uh the genuinity of the international students. But as far as I'm aware, for Indonesian and Malaysian students, we have really good visa approval because they believe in our students are generally genuine, so that shouldn't be a problem. Let me just open up the checklist that we have here, so you know, like, what do you need to actually prepare for your students, if that's okay, Russell?
yep, no problem.
Let me just open it up. Just wait a second, yeah.
I like how for New Zealand as well, a lot of the information online is very easy to see. I always
Oh, where?
complain. My biggest complaint to universities is when their website is very hard to look through, and I'm just like, oh,
Yeah.
how I want to sell for you if I cannot find information on your website. So I like it when it's very
So,
clear.
so can you see?
The screen is loading. Yes, we can see it now.
Okay. So this is actually all the information needed as a checklist. Let me just, yeah, an offer, identify tuition fees evidence, approval in principle, evidence you have enough money, yes, health and character. Sometimes you need to do an X-ray as well. Yes, supporting information. Yes, you have to actually submit a cover letter or statement of purpose. This is for the immigration New Zealand. I don't think that they need a cover letter if you apply for the university, but from the immigration side, yes, you need it. So yes,
Yeah, I heard when
and
I was talking to
that's
quite a number of
about,
people as well,
yeah.
they recommend, although it may not be compulsory to provide a statement, it's still good to provide an additional statement. So I think that's something that students should do. And of course, I think similar to Australia, don't write, I want to work, I want to migrate, I want to
Yeah, yeah,
my
yeah,
country
yeah,
and go
yeah,
there.
yeah,
Don't write that.
yeah, yeah.
Don't write that in your statement.
Because in Indonesia we have this movement kabur aja dulu, like you just go away from Indonesia with the current situation in Indonesia. Please don't mention that.
That's very good. Yeah, we have another question. Do you know when the Manaki scholarship result will be released?
Okay, so it's usually it takes one year to be fair. So it's really a long process. They usually open in February 1st until 20th of February, and then they will have a lot of assessment, a lot of steps and schemes, and then after that maybe they will be announcing it by the end of this year 2025, and the students, the awardees, will be starting their study in February 2026. So yeah,
So
it's quite a
they
long
should apply
process.
earlier. Even
Yes.
if, for example, you're finishing A level end of this year, then I
Oh,
should
but
still apply
Manaki
then.
is only for the postgraduate programs.
Only for postgraduate.
Yes. Unfortunately, we don't offer a fully funded scholarship for bachelor. Like who offers fully funded scholarship for
Mara,
bachelor degrees?
FPDP.
Oh, Mara, and yeah, okay, Mara, yeah, 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 yeah.
That
Yeah,
is
then
true. That
direct
is
them
true.
to Mara.
But
Then
that's true. I think, I mean, that's why I always tell students, I think postgraduate in New Zealand is a very good option. You can see that there's a lot of good opportunity for them, including Manaki. Maybe I apply, who knows? Oh, wait, maybe
who
my boss
knows?
here.
Yeah.
Just kidding. But yeah, I think it's a very good opportunity for students, especially that they want to go more. New Zealand definitely good. And most master courses in New Zealand also about 1.5 years. 1 year, one and
Yes.
a half years. Not all of them are 2 years. Australia will all be 2 years. And
Yeah.
remember, once again, as long as you study the master program, you just need to work 1 year and you're actually eligible for the residency visa. So
Yeah,
even if
but
you
the
study,
thing is, with the Manaki, you have to come back.
With the Manaki, you have to come back, guys.
Yes, with the scholarship, unfortunately, because the main objective of the scholarship is to actually lift up the country, the economy of the
Mhm.
country, of Indonesia or Malaysia country, so they
Mm.
have to come back. So they will not eligible for post-study work visa. So I always mention to potential students what would be your end game. If you want to
Mm.
stay back, you cannot use the government's money. You have to just
Use your
spend
own
your own
money.
money. Yes, exactly, because that's going to be a different conversation.
Mhm.
So that's also something that you can actually do with your students, like what would be their end game.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Just a quick to throw back, I have just a real double check with you. So if students go for, there's a new thing, if students go for pathway in New Zealand, you can
Yeah.
get the full visa, right? So you don't need to renew every year. For example, 1 year
For
foundation.
pathway, yes. For pathway, yes. Because they have, I think, because the thing is with the pathway,
Mm.
usually they already have they already know where they are going to progress once
Yes,
finish with the
correct.
foundation. So they have like up to 5 years, if I'm not mistaken,
Yeah, I
for the
remember.
pathway
Yeah.
pathway visa. But if you go directly, then you
You
have
every
to
year
do
have
it
to renew.
every year. Of
Yes.
course, maybe it's a hassle for some students, but the thing is we want to know that they are genuine students,
Yes.
because with these other benefits that they will receive, they can work 40 hours
Yep.
and whatnot. If we just give them one-time visa, can you imagine maybe they will not show up
That is
in the
true.
classrooms? Yeah.
That is true. That is true. Yeah, but don't worry as well for you guys if you do send student to New Zealand and they need to renew their visa. Like you mentioned, every school also, as long as you're a big provider, they usually have a immigration department or a department in the school that guides you on how to renew your student visa and etc.
Yes. Yeah.
So your student don't usually your students don't come back and chase you every year unless maybe they come back for holiday and then they need to renew their visa, then they keep calling you. Then maybe that's a
Yeah.
possibility. But usually is when they're over there, they're well taken care of and the people there will guide them to renew their visa every year. So no worries on your end as well.
Yep. Correct.
Yeah.
Any other questions, guys?
I think no other questions for now. If you guys have any questions, feel free to send them to us and then we will get back to you as soon as we can. So yeah, we look forward to getting your slides. I think everybody's really interested about it. Thank you very much for your
Yeah.
time today. We really
Thank
appreciate it.
you. Thank
Really
you
good
for your
session. And
time.
yeah, and thank you everyone for coming as well. We hope that we got another question. For the post-study work visa, will the student need to have a job offer or they have to study minimum 30 weeks?
No need to have a job offer first for post-study work visa. That's why we call it open work visa. That's why it's the opportunity for them to find a job with that visa.
Ah,
Yeah.
that's really good. That's really good.
But if you want to apply for the resident visa, that's where you need the job offer because, or the green list visa, because it's totally different
Yep.
arrangement and different scheme. But for post-study work visa, I think there's also like a requirement say you have to finish like maximum 3 months after you graduate, if I'm not mistaken. So you have to in a rush and just apply for the post-study work visa. No need to have a job offer first. Yeah.
Amazing. So yeah, I think that's it. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank
Hello,
you
boss.
so much.
Thank you so much for
Thank you
coming,
so
guys.
much.
And have
Thank
a great
you.
day ahead. For those who are going to
Thank
buka
you.
puasa, selamat buka puasa. Thank
Thank
you,
you everyone.
everyone.
Selamat buka puasa. Selamat Hari Raya Idul Fitri as well for everyone
Thank
who's celebrating
you.
it. Bye.